everyone. This is my second attempt to record this because this guy, Salvador, kept barking on my first video. Okay, so this is WolfeSound podcast, and I am the author of The Unfolding Journey of Involution. It's all about human behavior, and I really believe that in order to excel at something or understand something, or ourselves and others, we cannot fully grasp these things by eliminating one end of the spectrum. So my whole work is allowing the whole spectrum to be kept into consideration, from Buddhistic mindset all the way to psychopathy. And a lot of times people with the fashion and trend of toxic positivity, they end up suppressing their emotions, and then it comes out very violently, actually. And I'm sure you've seen that. And I want to start by something I created called the Emotional Gym, and I have it in this book's chapter titled the World of Emotion. It's the first chapter in the book. So what I'm going to do is read some passages and then dive even deeper into what it actually means, so that we can start on the right footing. You know, we have to redefine, not redefine, just unearth the lost meaning of emotions that we've lost over the years. One of the most misunderstood emotion is forgiveness, because a lot of people think that it's about the other person, or some things are unforgivable. Yeah, sure, some things are unforgivable in the sense that it's very difficult to actually release it on a personal level. But as you know, forgiveness is not just about the other person. It's mainly about you and not hoarding these toxins in your body. And the way I'm going to explain that is through visions I had in ayahuasca ceremonies. Even though they're very personal journeys, it's like you cannot really apply it to everyone, because it's as unique as our night dreams, literally, because we have different histories and stories and consciousness and journeys. However, there are lessons and truths that apply to everything, because truths don't change. So I'm going to share mine and see if it makes sense to you or not. So chapter 1, the world of emotion. It is truly incomprehensible how emotionally illiterate we have become. Most people try to hide their emotions. For centuries, we have been encouraged to suppress them. During the rise of the corporate mindset, a lack of empathy was favored. Needless to say, it took a fatal toll on our psyches. We were punished for being too emotional, too happy, too sad, and for connecting with natural human emotions. We created deadly habits of abandoning our natural feelings. Suppressing emotions led to the demise in emotional language, communication skills, empathy, our relationships, and our physical health. Being unable to name our emotions correctly prevents us from releasing them. There seems to be a rise in narcissism, largely due to emotional bluntness. We lost connection with our intuition, our needs, and our bodies. Anything that is suppressed comes out in a violent way. So the saddest thing is those who are still in touch with their emotions are constantly ridiculed and abandoned, so they numb themselves to avoid being shunned. We get shamed for being human. You're too sensitive. Be a man. You're so dramatic. Stop crying. Don't be so weak. We have become emotionally abusive and then blame the abuse for reacting. As long as we judge our emotions, we will not learn our lessons, nor will be able to contain them over time. Judgment is the antonym of empathy. It blocks our understanding. We cannot resolve what we do not understand. And this is why now we're going to sift through the true meaning of emotions and also normalize human emotion, because it is what's natural. If you have noticed a lot of teen murders happening recently, A lot of times it's due, I bet you it's due to being shamed. I'm not actually exonerating people who murder others, obviously, because people have to be responsible for their actions, but we cannot afford to feed it either, by shaming others, suppressing, like the encouragement of suppressing emotions. Surely this will happen one day. If somebody keeps getting suppressed or shamed or bullied, we're gonna pay the price, and the world is paying the price right now. So it's also very exhausting to live like that. So okay, so judging our emotions creates an internal war zone. When you fight against nature, nature will prevail. All right, our level of understanding others relies on the depth we understand ourselves. When we are judgmental, it indicates how harsh we are on ourselves. Our emotional struggle is reaching a boiling point due to our lack of self-empathy. Now, let's dive into the most misunderstood emotions first. And it's been repeated so often that we started to believe the new meaning, which actually is the wrong meaning. After we talk about the misunderstood emotions, we're going to talk about the toxic emotions that are actually having been used as weapons in our upbringing. Not saying that it's deliberate. People didn't know any better, especially our parents' generation, my parents' generation. People in their 70s and 80s, they didn't know, but now we don't have an excuse for not knowing how to raise our children. And one of the things, the best things to start with is to eradicate shaming children. Shame is at the heart of so many disasters later on. Okay. So misrepresented emotional states of being. Some emotions are essential to a healthy state of being. They're necessary abilities we need to acquire. Some of the most critical emotions have lost meaning over a span of time when we lost our ability to embody them. How can we put something into practice if we don't know how to define them properly? Keeping true definitions alive eliminates their natural obscurity. Still, all esoteric knowledge is beyond description and requires personal experience. So I'm sharing the definitions to the best of my ability. The biggest one, that's the biggest one that's always misunderstood. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is the ultimate gateway to well-being. Forgiveness is releasing yourself from the chains of the past. It does not mean what was done was okay, nor does it mean letting yourself or someone else off the hook. Everyone is still held accountable, even when you forgive. Forgiveness means that what was done to you will no longer dictate your future behavior. It will not have power over you or cause negative emotions to have a permanent residence within you. So when you're holding on to resentment and there's something you didn't process or forgive yet, a lot of times it means that you're still allowing it to dictate your future behavior. People who were cheated on before might become very suspicious of any new partners, which means that the act of deception in their past, which is no small thing, is still holding power over them and causing them to distrust others, which is completely understandable, but it's our responsibility to work through it and start fresh with a fresh new person and allowing trust to re-enter, especially when it's a new person. I'm not saying go back to the other, to the cheater and trust them. I'm saying don't take them with you in your next relationship. Okay, so it's about releasing bitterness, resentment, regret, and anger. Refusing to forgive someone takes away your power. Refusing to forgive yourself depletes your life force. It literally does. It's exhausting. It makes you heavy. It's impossible to be creative and have fun with friends. Like it's just awful. Refusing to forgive a situation makes you a hostage. Literally, it makes you a hostage to that situation. So what happens when we don't forgive? Lack of forgiveness is not only unhealthy, but potentially fatal. You strengthen the toxic, so number one, you strengthen the toxic bond between you and the one you cannot forgive. Even when the situation is over, their energy is still there controlling you. Number two, you deny yourself the opportunity to grow and become a better version of yourself by remaining stuck in an old story that belongs to your old self. Just carrying along the same story. You do not take the lessons. Number three, you do not take the lessons you need and risk repeating the event by energetic invitation. This is so important because everything we think about and everything we carry within us and our emotions, it creates energy because we are made of energy. So when we are hoarding this energy and embodying it fully and taking it into the rest of our journey, we actually attract more of that. We attract people. It's like signaling, wearing a perfume that predators can smell, and then they come to you. This is why a lot of people, they jump from one abusive relationship to the next, or abusive friendship to the next, or they continue to repeat their history, meaning that they always attract the same crap. And I have my own patterns as well. So it's a process, and we have to learn how to stop it. So this energy has to be released so that we start to attract different things. Number four is the next video because I'm interrupted. All right.